Welcome to the pod. You are listening to What the Reality with me, Cache Roberts. Welcome to another episode of Toxic, but it is Tuesday because, yes, it is Tuesday. It's a stormy Tuesday. I had to bring out the ring light. I had to light up some light behind me, but nonetheless, it is Tuesday. We are almost through the week. I will have an episode coming out Friday while I'm in Cancun, and I hope you guys are somewhere as well because it will be my birthday weekend, and I still want to get that Portia and Simon part 2 out to you. So in terms of that, yes, I'm gonna try to get that episode out by Friday, normal schedule with you. How are y'all doing? I feel like this weekend has been non-stop news, non-stop. I guess we'll just go right into the reality topics because there's just so many topics to talk about. First off, we have to talk about the Kenya Moore of it all. Kenya Moore has dropped a dime. She's dropped a little more than a dime. I have to adjust my lighting. She's dropped a dime about her future with Real Housewives of Atlanta. Apparently, she will not be returning as of now, which I felt like was kind of code of like, oh, I may be in talks of joining, but as of now, I'm not joining. So I feel like she's probably like, I'm not joining now, but this is who you can look forward to joining. She dropped that little dime. Internet ran with it. I ran with it because she said, you know how we always compare the two, how like Atlanta's giving Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Well, she said this person is actually from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. She said they're joining 2 new housewives. As far as she knows, everyone is staying. But I'm also like, how else would Kenya know all this information? Like, who is her inside on that current cast? Like, I know she's cool with them, but how else would she know all of this? I just feel like they're definitely negotiating with Kenya to come back because how else would she know all this information? But she basically was like, one of them is from Real Housewives of Atlanta. And so, of course, nonetheless, everyone's like, ugh, like, who is it going to be? I don't know. My head went immediately to, I don't know, like Carly Red or someone like that. I'm just like, I hope not. Not Jocelyn Hernandez tweeting. She's like, I don't know why they won't let me do it. Jocelyn, honey, you would be a liability because we never know if someone gets in an argument with you, are you swinging on them? But what I will say, Jocelyn knows how to mix and mingle with the right groups. Because remember, she was on Married to Medicine. Nonetheless, Kenya said that someone joining was from Love and Hip Hop. Internet went crazy, like, we don't want that. Then the other person she said is a restaurateur. I don't know what Bravo's gag is with finding people that own restaurants because we got to get to that. Because a lot of these restaurants ain't making it. A lot of these bars ain't making it. Pardon if you guys hear some thunderstorms. It is about to start storming over here, so you might hear it. Hopefully not. It's not like we can really tell in the weather app because I don't know what's going on with that. I think PBS or someone was defunded and now like I literally am not getting accurate weather or something. I don't know. The weather app just seems very like not working these days. So Kenya said Love and Hip Hop, a restaurateur. So the 2 people, when she said that, we're like, oh my gosh, who is it? Like I said, I was like, not Miss Carly Red, or I was like Mimi Foss. I was like, my head did not go to this person that is now being reported as possibly because I don't think of her as just Love and Hip Hop. They're saying it's K Michelle. And if it's K Michelle, I am here for K Michelle. I love K Michelle. That is my girl. I think she's an amazing singer. I love K Michelle. I loved her on Love and Hip Hop. I think she's an amazing singer. And I'm so glad she's reversed her humongous BBL. And she was like, very open about documenting what happened with that. So if it is my girl K Michelle, I am totally fine with that. That's a good pick. And then we're also finding out the restaurateur, the one that may have possible beef or not with Kelly because they like to pull from that world. Even though they're 2 different types of foods. You know, Kelly got the chicken and waffles. This restaurateur specializes in veganism, vegan food. And this is Pinky Cole. I think that's her name. She's the owner of Slutty Vegan in Atlanta. If you have not heard of it, I've heard of Slutty Vegan for sure. People go crazy for it. I think there's location Pinky Cole. There's locations in yeah, she's from Baltimore. I think she has her locations are based in Baltimore. So that's the other person all of a sudden that is circulating. K Michelle, Pinky Cole, all while Kenya's confirming she is not, coming back. Also, what she did not talk about, which I send a lot of receipts, so I have to like get this up. I send like a lot of receipts to my friends. Like, they probably get sick of me. I was on Reddit. Reddit is where you find the tea. If you guys find yourself needing to get some tea, Reddit got some tea. So credit to Lipstick Alley user Noyoida Uraha. This was on Reddit. Kenya Moore is being sued and evicted from her salon. So that's one thing she did not talk about on her Instagram Live, is the possibility that she's being evicted. I'm going to share the information on the pod. I'll share it. I mean, you can't see it now. I got this like bright light. But I'm going to try to put it up on the screen. Word on the street is she being evicted from the salon for unpaid rent. Yeah. So she did not talk about that in live. What she did talk about also was her riff with Cynthia Bailey and how Cynthia's not telling the whole story. Apparently it goes deeper than just the incident. Kenya said she can have her opinion. She told me her opinion. What I don't like is the fact that I guess Kenya was texting her some personal messages, and I guess those messages were showed to some people, and it wasn't for the best interest of Kenya. It was for the betterment of Cynthia. So the way she kind of said it was kind of giving like she showed these text messages to production, maybe to kind of clear Cynthia's involvement in it and to show like, hey, I was never the one that gave it. Like, this is what she was texting me. And that's the other side of the story we're hearing. The fans have nonstop been coming for Cynthia. Well, not even nonstop, because I'm not on that timeline. It hasn't hit my algorithm yet. I mean, some people I'm seeing coming for her. I don't understand what their beef or drama is with Cynthia. If she, and people are calling her a flip-flopper. In this instance, I would say she is. And I think even when Britt was on the show, she has maintained her stance that she thinks what both of the ladies did was wrong. And you guys have to remember, Cynthia was not there for the gun accusations either. So when Britt was talking about a pistol and stuff, she was not there. So I can understand Cynthia being like, now I'm seeing my friend just do way too much. My lighting's just like too much. Like, I'm just seeing my friend do way too much and have all this energy for this girl, and I don't know why. And it's because you weren't there. And I think what Kenya's point is, like, because you weren't there for her threatening me with a pistol, you really don't have a leg to stand on in this fight. You shouldn't really be taking sides. But in my opinion, was Cynthia taking sides? No. She said Kenya was wrong, and Kenya has been wrong. Now, how wrong is Kenya to never have to return to Atlanta? That, and I'm not even like a Kenya fan, you have to be a Kenya fan, but the fact that an investigation was done and we find out these weren't even Brit on the images, so I'm like, y'all did all that just to get rid of Kenya. And that's shocking to me, because I just thought Andy Cohen like loved her. So I'm really shocked that like he hasn't brought his big toe out and like, you know what, we're gonna keep Kenya on. But remember, I was talking about this earlier in my podcast, one of my earlier shows, how like there were alleged text messages leaked between Andy and a producer, and Andy's like, Kenya's becoming a liability to film with, like she's becoming too much. And so maybe that is what's playing around here, is like he's like, she's just too much of a liability. So maybe that's why he's kind of like not concerned with bringing her back. That's the Kenya Moore tea. She's not coming back as of now. A lot of people are upset. I mean, the show must continue on. I will say, if K Michelle is coming, I'm very excited for that, because I do like K Michelle, and I just find it so funny how she did kind of like, I guess, subtract her value to just Love and Hip Hop. Like, K Michelle's an actual singer. Like, she actually tours. Like, she actually has albums out. I'll never forget her one album with, this is before she went country, but even some of her country stuff is like good. What is her one album? Because I will still play rounds. Like, K Michelle can sing. So I'm just like, what we're not going to do is like, Anybody Want to Buy a Heart. That was a good album. But I don't know if she's dropped any music lately since 2023, apparently. Anybody Want to Buy a Heart was a banger. That's 2014. But yes, K Michelle was popping before Love and Hip Hop. and she'll be popping after Love and Hip Hop. Yes, she been in hiding, but that would be someone I would like to see. Okay, so we're getting closer to the VPR trailer. There was a teaser that was dropped with, the same song, Best Times of Our Lives or Best Days of Our Lives. It was Lisa turning on the Help Wanted sign, and then it was just like, same restaurant. Different servers or something, same rules. So we got a little snippet of that. I've seen the photos of what could possibly be. Unfortunately, no matter what, there's going to be people trying to replicate what the essence of VPR was. We saw that on Vanderpump Villa, which is literally atrocious to watch. It got renewed for season 3. I have no clue how. Vanderpump Villa is probably one of the most terrible reality shows I've ever watched. And I watch baddies every once in a while. I'm more of a Jocelyn's Cabaret girl. But that is one of the most terrible... What's the word? It's just literally like a parody at this point. I think I used that word right. Like, it's not even funny how bad that show is. It got renewed because we saw Marinara and Hannah trying to be the next Stassi and Jax. It didn't work out. I couldn't even finish the first season. I wanted to get into the second season because The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives kept pointing that out. But I feel like no one still watched Vanderpump Villa. Like, it was so bad. So my only hopes is for this new VPR cast is like they go in being their authentic selves. I was very excited that they just gave the cast the boot because I'm like, y'all not about to keep profiting off of Ariana's pain where Sheena, you're not even trying to be honest about the whole Brock of it all. When into reality, people saying they don't even think Brock cheated on her. I don't know. I just think it's very weird that she didn't even mention that, but she's like, if I would have mentioned it, people would have been like, they're making it about me. I don't trust anything Sheena says, but I just feel like if it's not because of that, it's because you're trying to secure a spot on the Valley. And it's just like, I'm really not interested in that. What are we going to do with the Valley? Jax got the boot from that. But with the new VPR, I just hope they stay true to themselves. I'm really excited about this Next Gen NYC. I watched it. Amazing. I talked about Next Gen NYC. I'm excited about Next Gen LA, even though I'm not fond of the cast. I'm going to have to put a picture here or there. It's just a lot of people I know, and I think what I liked about Next Gen NYC is like I only knew the housewife kids, and it looks like Next Gen LA is literally more influencers, and I think what worked about Next Gen NYC is that it was centered around the housewife kids and like catching up with them. So, and just watching them grow, I just think it's going to be more authentic than LA, but that's how New York City is. It will always be more authentic than Los Angeles, and that's just a fact. But, okay, let's talk about the people that are going to be on here. So, there's 2 cast photos. So, we got Nia Soaks. She's a dancer. I've never heard of her, but the people are happy that she could possibly be on there. We have Brady Potter, never heard of them. We have Sierra Ortega, and I'm not talking about from Love Island season 7. I am talking about from Love Island season 6. What are the odds that there's been 2 girls named Sierra Ortega on there? The Sierra Ortega from the current season of Love Island, her name starts with a C, and this one starts with a S. But it is very funny. I didn't realize they had the same names. Like, that's the same name. Then you got Alabama Barker, Jody Woods, Noelle Robinson, Sky Jackson, Landon Barker. So when you look at this picture, you're kind of like, well, where are our housewife kids? So then there's another picture, and we got Sophia Umansky added. We got Denise Richards' one daughter that does OnlyFans. I cannot think of her name right now. That was added. We got the Maloof brothers, Adrian Maloof, and then we have. Is this Amelia? I think this is Amelia. And then, of course, we got Noelle. But then we got Amelia, who is, Lisa Rinna's daughter. So I would be interested in that. But the thing is, I can already tell you I don't like Rinna's daughters. If anything, I like Delilah better. I don't really care for Amelia. I don't really like Sophia Umansky. Out of all the Kyle's daughters, I probably like Farrah the most. And I like Alexia. I don't really care for Sophia because I don't know if you guys ever watched that Buying Beverly Hills show. It got 2 seasons. But Sophia was really trying to flirt with this 40-year-old man that worked at her dad's literal real estate firm. And I just think it was so for clickbait, or like, I just thought it was so inappropriate to be around your father and his friends of his age in a skimpy outfit trying to flirt with him, and then your dad's over here like, do you need a drink? I just did not like that. It was very weird. And then she's trying to get with this guy who was like 40 years old, who was clearly not interested in her, clearly wouldn't even want to go down that path because I work for your father. So Sophia's not. And then Sophia was just open about her losing a bunch of hair because she went on Ozempic, and I'm just like, I am tired in my Nene Leakes voice. I'm just like, New York City is going to be so much more authentic, especially because those are where the hustlers are. Georgia ended up being my MVP. You know, Ava working. She was annoying, but like, she knows how to work. These are people that work. And I feel like in LA, I'm just looking at a bunch of people that already have it all, that already kind of know their story. I am interested in Noelle, though. I do love Noelle. Me and her are the same age. I'm interested in Sky Jackson too, because I know there's been a lot of stuff going on with her and her ex, who is currently in jail, I think, in Cincinnati. Like, he was caught up. Very interested if she would open up about that. Obviously, people are going to drop out. I cannot think of Denise Richards' daughter's name, but I would be interested in her too now. I'm just hoping she offers more than just like OnlyFans stuff and like that weird stuff. That's why I couldn't get into Denise Wild Things, because I just felt like she was super fake, like arguing with your sister. I don't know. I feel like LA is known for being fake. It just depends on the people you find. Now, Alabama and Jody are not friends anymore, and they used to be really close friends. Jody Woods is Jordan Woods, you know, little sister. I mean, she looks the same age as her. They wear a lot of makeup in LA. I'm like, first of all, is it not hot in LA? They all just look a little. The only people I'm remotely interested in is probably Sky Jackson. Why can I not think of Denise Richards' daughter's name? And I feel like it starts with a D. I have to look her up. I feel like it starts with a D. Oh, it's Sammy. Sammy Sheen would be on there. And then I'm interested in Noelle. That's who I genuinely would be interested in. Who would you guys be interested in? That's that. Speaking of new things coming, Jax has went on his Instagram story with a statement saying, I've made the decision to end my partnership with Jax's. It wasn't an easy decision, but it was the right one. Right now, my focus is on my sobriety and mental health, and staying connected to my bar is no longer in line with the priorities I've set for myself and the life I'm working towards. Definitely think he was pushed out. Definitely think Jax is possibly going to hit rock bottom. We don't like Jax. I do hope his mental health is okay. He's not going to be on the ballot. Brittany, I hope you're lawyered up, because he's coming for you for spousal support. So it's like, yes, you got what you wanted, of course, as you should, but I hope you're ready to face the repercussions of picking such an ill-mannered mate, someone that everyone already knew was bad for you. I feel like he is definitely going to come for her, and I think, if anything, we knew Jax's wasn't going to last. Every scene he had, even when he's in rehab, he's wearing his Jax Studios hat, he's showing off his bar, trying to get the numbers up. He really thought it was going to be a success. Bars, restaurants, I'll never forget, my granddad told me this, is the number one succeeding and the number one failing business. I don't know why everyone on reality TV wants to have a bar. I heard Britt was trying to do a Britt's bar. I'm like, just because it sounds cute don't mean nothing. That is a lot of money. Britt, I'm going to offer you a bag. If you were to get into anything, it should be anything with hair. Your hair is gorgeous. Don't get into freaking the bar industry. You've seen what's happened with the Toms. They don't even have a restaurant with Lisa Vanderpump anymore. Like, she's gotten rid of Toms. She's turning that into Pump. She's dropping the sign. They're out of that. It was cute for the show. Now she's transitioning that, as she should. And then you see what just happened with your exes. Like, if anything, you should not probably get into the bar industry. do yourself a brand deal with someone about some shampoo, about some weave, some hair extensions, because who doesn't want to have hair like Britt's hair is gorgeous. And or offer some vitamins or something. You need to do that. I really hope she doesn't do the bar lane, because if anything I would take advice from Britt is about how to keep your hair healthy. She should do supplements or something for postpartum. Like, what did she do to keep her hair so healthy after having a baby? That is my free advice to Britt. I pretty much advise you not to go into the bar industry. This was an old rumor a while ago that she wanted to do like a Britt's bar or something. But I'm just like, maybe let's drop the liquor. First of all, y'all all need to drop the liquor. Y'all talk about Danny. Y'all all look like you just drink too much. Like everybody, and I hate to be like Lala back in the day when her and James were like the youngest thing. And she's like, I can tell no one's been working on their summer bodies. But you can just tell when someone needs to put the bear down, when they need to put the tequila down, when it's just like, you need a detox. Like, y'all don't need to be investing your money into alcohol, especially for your mental health, especially in LA when I feel like it's just party. You guys need to stay young and healthy and look your best. And I just feel like certain people do not need to go into the bar industry. And I think it's a smart decision that Jax is taking himself out of it. He's like, it's not good for my sobriety. Is he sober? We'll never know. I could tell you in that season finale he was not sober, but do I think it's a strategic move for him to get out of it? Yes, he's catching a lot of hate right now because he's just a narcissist, and I think he needs to go in hiding. I think Bravo would be dumb to bring him back, but now I'm even hearing a rumor that Tom Sandoval and his current girlfriend are auditioning for the Valley. So it looks like they're just trying to put the old VPR kids on the Valley now that they're getting rid of Jax. We'll see how that works. I mean, we'll see how it works. I think our frustrations with VPR was like, it wasn't about VPR anymore. VPR was about working at SUR. Take us to Villa Blanca. It was about those dynamics, and we weren't getting it anymore. So if you want to transition them to the Valley, who cares? I can tell you what, Ariana will not be nowhere in sight. Ariana's gearing up for Love Island Games that's coming out in September, I think. Like, the people I want to win aren't going back on reality TV. Let's just say that. So that's that. Britt, lawyer up, because you're about to be paying him a hefty spousal fee, and you're going to have to be doing majority of it alone. And it really does suck, but that's what happens. I also want to talk about Todd Chrisley, Julie Chrisley, who I used to love the Chrisleys. I really genuinely used to enjoy them. But, they got pardoned by Trump, all of that nonsense. I have to pull this story up because Todd said he was not attracted to Julie when he saw her come out of prison. When he saw those first pictures of her getting released from prison, and they're talking about this on the podcast, he said he was turned off by his wife's post-prison sentence. You guys remember the picture? When I saw her, that did not look like her. She had complete gray hair. She didn't have Botox, no makeup on. She looked like a normal person, so it is crazy. And I think Todd was just shocked that she wasn't keeping up with her appearance, because Todd probably was. She then reminded, so he said, I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw you, when I got out of that car, I started thinking about going back. And they're talking about this on Chrisley Confessions. He said, but then I thought, let me embrace this. This is a moment. And then Julie said, are you serious? Are you kidding me right now? It was a rough moment because I've never seen you dark in my life, he said, because she's always been blonde. I'm taking a picture of it because she looks completely different. She looks her age without all the Botox and stuff. We're used to seeing her blonde, like pageant. But I thought that was funny. I also don't know if that was him. India, I don't know if you guys know, India, why do I want to keep saying India Royal? I think it is India Royal. No, not India Royal. That's Lil Durk's girl. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Let's skip over that. I can't remember her. Garcelle said, free me, Beverly Hills, because I have a new man and I'm catering to him. Garcelle got a new man. His name is Earl Robinson. He is a CEO. And yes, they just debuted in New York City holding hands. So they're saying this is her boyfriend. I'm reading this from page 6. The Bravo celebrity debuted her new romance with Goodwill Brand CEO. So he's the CEO of Goodwill Brands, Earl Robinson, on Friday night as they were spotted heading to Hayes Theater in New York City for a romantic date. He's cute. They look cute together, and I'm happy. Garcelle is just like out of such a dark place on Beverly Hills. Like, you can tell, like, the bookings aren't stopping. She's signing more on, and you still got people like Kyle Richards talking about how she really valued their friendships, and she's really shocked she left. Kyle Richards will keep mentioning her. She's never coming back. If she does come back, it'll be in a friend role. I don't even think she's talked to Sonny. She said, I cannot with y'all fake butts anymore. Good luck on the show. I'm not even looking forward to Beverly Hills. I know it's about that time where they're probably going to stop filming soon, and we're probably going to get something come November. I mean, it flies by, but I'm really not looking forward to Beverly Hills at all. Like, I genuinely mean that. Also want to talk about Janae and Kenny from Love Island season 6. Apparently they have broke up. So we don't have the receipts. All we know is there was David Dobrik's party. I don't know why he's still popping in 2025, but apparently he is. They went to that party together. They were all up on the Snapchat taking pictures, and we know they did not leave that party together. Apparently there was a huge scene at the party where Janae allegedly... Oh, it's like thunderstorming. Where Janae allegedly caused a scene. I'm hearing a couple of things. I'm hearing that there was a side piece at the party that he has been having an affair with that was there unannounced, uninvited, me mugging Janae the whole time. I'm also hearing that she saw something on his phone and that made her go off and she like dumped him. And now we know that the whole cast has unfollowed him. And that happened pretty instantly. Today, actually, you know, I film on Mondays. Ariana Madix unfollowed him, which I feel like is pretty serious for the host to be getting involved. But apparently, Kenny is being unfollowed by the whole cast of Love Island season 6. Leah and Miguel unfollowed him. And they're somewhere international right now enjoying their 1-year anniversary. It just makes so much sense. I wanted to watch Beyond the Villa before I recorded today. It's making a lot more sense now. I'm just watching scenes with Janae and Kenny, and I don't know if it's because we have this information, but, you know, one of the biggest states of contention in their relationship was that, you know, they're just here for the summer. Production put them up in apartments. Like, hey, are y'all going to stay together? Kenny's like, no, I don't want to stay with her, but we're going to stay next door. That'll be fine, which I just feel like is like, why wouldn't you want to kind of stay with your significant other? But I was just like, whatever, this man don't want to move too fast with her. He's 24, he may be 25 now, she's 27. I just don't see Janae dating anyone next that is younger than her. I think she needs a man. They're saying he's probably cheated on her. He's probably been cheating on her. And yeah, it's just not looking good. My heart goes out to Janae, but when Cordell is unfollowing you, something's going on. Because I feel like men don't like to really get involved in females' business. And the fact that the men are now unfollowing him, I think Liv and Kaylor have. I think the biggest shock was Ariana Madix unfollowing him. So I'm hoping Janae's okay. TMZ is already reporting that they've broken up. And this has all happened within the time span, I'm thinking of like 4 hours. Like, something happened at that party. Things happen fast. So my heart goes out to Janae. I hope she gets through it. She'll be fine. She's gorgeous. Get you someone that's for sure, you know. But when you do watch Beyond the Villa, I do challenge you guys to watch Beyond the Villa now more than ever. There's just certain things, like they did a Q&A on this most recent episode, and I feel like he didn't really know anything about her, and it was shocking. And then also he's having a conversation with Miguel about like he's just not ready to move in, and I think a lot of men do know, and I don't think this is BS. A lot of men will know within like a month if you're someone they genuinely see a future with. And I don't know, maybe it was too much pressure. He's dating a PPG. Maybe he couldn't bow out gracefully. Maybe he felt like he had to keep up the facade. But also, there's a Peacock game or something where all the ladies are voting, like PPG. And when they said who's first to get married, Leah and Miguel, I was shocked because I didn't realize their bond was like that. But even watching the show, like, Leah and Miguel are very locked in. I think I was one of the people that was just like, out of all of them, I thought Leah and Miguel would probably break up the most. the quickest because we just didn't really see their connection, and now we know it's because of production and stuff. But now when you watch the show even more, I would say the weakest connection is Janae and Kenny, specifically because like the whole moving thing, especially if you're just there for filming for like 3 months, it's like we might as well shackle up, let's see how this works. And then him just like not knowing some things about her, I just thought that was kind of red flaggish. He's very quiet, very reserved. He lets her do her thing, which I think works. But I don't know, Janae may need an alpha. She may need someone that's going to tell her to just shut up, not just let her talk. You know what I mean? I don't know. If he did cheat on her, yikes. He is gonna lose the public opinion very fast. But let's get into this Real Housewives of Atlanta Part 3 reunion. This is the last Atlanta recap until like maybe a year from now. I started with the reality. I had it in my mind with the basis of I'm gonna start with Real Housewives of Atlanta recaps. And it's crazy to me that the season has ended. I didn't start right when it started. I probably started like around like episode 6 or 7. Yes, because I started with the Pistols. I think so. I think I called it Pistols and Pardons. Like that was like my first episode when I dropped like my debut like 3 episodes. So I started with that. But I have been recapping since the first episode, just getting used to the microphone and stuff, which a lot of people don't know. So I was recapping to myself until I got comfortable to start like posting. But it is crazy because it's like I started my podcast with the basis of like Atlanta because Atlanta is the one that put me on to Housewives. I was watching that with my mom when I was young. America's Next Top Model, Flavor Flav, I Love New York. But Atlanta, Real Housewives of Atlanta is really what ventured me into Bravo. And then after that, it would have been New Jersey, Beverly Hills, and then VPR, Summer House. I never really touched OC or New York City when New York City was good. That's why I did a full binge of New York City twice. Twice the full series. How many times have I watched season 6 through 10? Countless times now. New York City and Atlanta, they fight for my attention of what's the better franchise. I think New York City is so good, but I don't think it really got good until like season 5 when they revamped the cast and Carol Radziwill joined and Heather and them and Aviva. Even though the old ones are good with like Scary Island, but I think Atlanta's been like nonstop good since like season 1, and then it kind of fell off around like season 10. So those two are like my favorite franchises. Like when I look back at it, I'm going to eventually watch OC, but so let's do this final Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion recap. This is your part 3, and this is toxic, but it is Tuesday. Also, I didn't even say who I thought was being the most toxic. I think Kenya was definitely being toxic this episode because of that little dime she dropped about K. Michelle and Pinky Cole. Also think Todd Chrisley. Todd Chrisley's being toxic, and apparently Kenny is. That would be probably toxic. But who did you guys think was toxic this episode before we get into Atlanta? This is What the Reality with me, Cache Roberts. Let's just hop on in. So on part 2, we left off on Porsha and Shamia arguing again. What I will say, what was annoying this episode was like Porsha just kept interrupting Shamia, and I think Shamia needs to get just more vocal. I saw a tweet. Oh my gosh, it was lightning. Shamia is too wealthy and gorgeous and loved to be literally this thirsty for Porsha. That is my true honest opinion. I'm like, let this thunder go by. Okay. But so we leave off on the mothers. Porsha and Shamia's mom apparently had a falling out. They're both in the childcare industry. They have businesses for that. And I guess Portia's Mama Diane, one of her locations was going under foreclosure. And instead of hitting up Mama Diane, Shamia's mom bought the location without telling her. And Porsha and Mama Diane did not find out about that until they drove by the location and saw Mama Diane's sign being replaced with Shamia's mom sign. I just had a brain fart. So that's one part of it, but Shamia's saying they weren't even talking before that, so basically she didn't owe her to say anything about the location closing. She's saying they've been having talking. We didn't really talk about the mothers, but we do know there is some mother drama, which is why Mama Diane has been so... She's been pushing very hard for Portia to just cut off Shamea, which I just felt like, why? And I'll never forget when she said, like, the apple don't fall far from the tree. I think they're arguing over a man. I do think it shouldn't be brought to the show. I think the moms bring it to YouTube, as Jackie Christie was saying. Bring it to the talk show. Portia got a talk show. Shamea got a talk show. So much Shamea was issuing an apology even before this part 3 came out. Talking about she's issuing an apology to her whole cast. I think Shamea knows she took that L. I think she was fully anticipating Britt coming, giving her the tea. Shamea did not deserve first seat. Her performance was very underwhelming. Drew deserved first seat. I will never understand why they didn't give that to her. And Kelly deserved last seat. And I like Kelly, but Kelly was annoying, like a chihuahua. She was very much annoying like a chihuahua. And Phaedra deserved last seat. Cynthia should have been before Phaedra. Phaedra stuttering where Charles confront her. But we'll get into that. But I'm just saying, the seating made no sense for me this reunion, like, at all. It made no sense to me at all. So that's the mother situation. And then Shamea is taking ownership during this part about, like, talking about her friendship to Drew and Angela. But she didn't really take ownership because she's like, I can take ownership that, I went to y'all and I basically ran with y'all's opinion. And then Drew's like, no, it seems as though when you were confiding in us, this was something you really wanted to get off of your chest. So let's not act like it was our opinions. These were your opinions. And Shamea just took that L too. She was just like, she should have expressed to Portia how she was feeling. And then Portia says that they have a friendship group outside of the circle, of course. And she said that's why she don't believe Shamea with this whole apology, because she says she's been hearing this from their inner circle off of the show, that Shamea is saying that Portia is not supportive of her being a peach holder. Do I think two things can be true? I think Portia did not want her to become a peach holder, because what was the hold up this whole time? I heard that Kandi for the longest was the one vouching for Shamea to become a peach holder. So I find it very odd that when Portia asked Andy confirms that Portia wanted her to become a peach holder, when we know that as not fact. I need Kandi Burruss to hop on Candy Coated Nights, because Kandi is the one that was vouching for Shamea to get a peach. She said, before I leave, y'all need someone. She said, Shamea has it all. You need to look into that. I don't think Portia was vouching for her. I don't think Portia wanted to share her light. I really don't. But I also don't think Portia wanted the show to ever come in between their relationship, their friendship, just like I don't think she wanted their moms to either. However, I don't think Portia ever really, truly wanted Shamea to become a peach holder. And I think Shamea feels that. And I think Shamea should have spoke on it. But I do think different personalities, not everyone is confrontational. And whenever we do see Shamea try to confront Portia, Portia's very dismissive of her. So it's like, at a certain point, you're just going to stop talking. And you are going to confide in people that you feel that will hear you and listen to you. Now, third time's a charm. We're trying again. This Wi-Fi and this weather is not my friend today. So sorry if this episode is choppy. But I was just talking about, like, whenever Shamea does approach Portia with something, it just seems like it gets dismissed. And I just don't even believe Andy confirming that Portia did want her to be a peach holder. Either way, yes, Shamea should have spoke up sooner about it, because she's still harboring resentment from the season 9 stuff that happened 9 years ago. That was in 2016, and she's still harboring resentment against that, and she should have talked to Phaedra. I agree with that, and I agree she should have had a better conversation with Portia. But Portia's even saying that, like, she doesn't like the interview Shamea's doing after the show, and how she's like, you are always throwing our friendship under the bus, when it's like, when people ask me, like, I never throw our friendship under a bus, which I do agree. Like, a lot of Shamea's, like, after interviews for Real Housewives of Atlanta has been super messy, and like, well, we'll see how our friendship is. Like, I'm a peach holder now. And then Portia's big thing is like, well, why would it have to change now that you're a peach holder? Even though we know why it would change, Portia. Like, we know why it would change. You know why it would change. Can we please stop playing dense for a second? We know why it would change. However, do I agree she should be throwing under her best friend? No, I don't. And then, Shamia also brings up was like, I literally just felt like it would be different because you guys, you know, you guys were talking about me, XYZ. And then Portia's like, well, what's the difference? Like, because Shamia's like, you guys literally could have ruined my engagement. And then Portia was like, well, you ruined it yourself. She said, I kissed Candy in the club, and so did you kiss Candy in the club. So they was both kissing Candy in the club. And this is why those rumors fueled. That is why Phaedra said what she said. And that's why you were also brought into it. Because y'all were all kissing in the club, Shamia. So now I'm just like, we got how many liars on this cast? I think the whole cast is liars. I like Angela. That story with the whole June bug, I still think that's weird. We got all liars on the cast. I don't really believe anything anyone says. Okay, Cynthia's the one that's not a liar. And she's not even full-time. But apparently they was all kissing Candy in the club. They all were doing stuff with her. So I'm just like, Shamia, pick your battles. Pick your battles. And I think Shamia is literally learning that as the reunion carries on. I think she's realizing how many L's she's taking because she was going on mute. And I also think just her constantly trying to go at Drew. It's just like, girl, why are you constantly going after Drew? And that's what I talked about in my part 2. Or my part 1 is like, y'all, a lot of these ladies, Kelly included, Angela included, went in with Britt, went in with these preconceived notions of these OGs, these veterans. And it's like, when you don't get that energy, you're trying to provoke them to get that energy. Like, Kelly came in calling Drew all types of liars. And it's like, what has she lied to you about? And then she's going to bring up the Balmain thing and her not purchasing. When she said, I didn't purchase at your event because you didn't have my size, but I still was messaging with your stylist. And Kelly's like, well, right, so you didn't purchase at my event. Girl, if we're going to get off on technicalities, get off on the fact that you still haven't opened up your business. And it's like, you just started opening it because people are suing you for money in unpaid rent. Like, if we're going to start getting technical about stuff, let's get technical about all of it. Like, Kelly is just doing a little too much for me. She was looking for a moment for me, in my opinion. And it's like, you came in guns blazing for Drew about her being a liar. And it's like the Michael Jordan thing. Like, I mean, is that really consider you a liar? Like, does it really? Like, I don't know. Like, that's like me saying I'm related to... I always said I was, like, related, like, to Julia Roberts or something. Like, someone that's a cool actor. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, do you really think I mean that? They're just doing too much. So then Andy does give advice to Shamia, which I thought spoke volumes. Like, even Andy's like, girl, you is sinking right now. Andy's like, look, when something is bothering you, you gotta speak up. And he said, because you're harboring this. And then she's like, well, I guess the difference is, like, when I don't have time for something, it's just like, I just, like, push it to the side. Which essentially is what Portia is doing. And she tried to compare what her and Portia do. It was like, Portia just don't have time to deal with it. She don't got the energy. But you kind of put, like, you know, brush it under the rug. And then it becomes something bigger. And it's like something that's like, well, I got a problem with this. I got a problem with that. And it's just kind of like, you should just address it head on. If this is a friendship that really matters. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because I would like to see them become friends again. But I don't think... I think they're childhood friends. I think it's going to take a lot. I think they got to relearn each other. And I think it's like, you used to know this person so well. I don't know how well you know this person now. Either way, the men are coming out. Ralph looks a mess. He look old now. And I think it's just because he's a bitter man. And he's upset he's not on this platform as much. And he's sitting behind Phaedra. I don't like that. The men come out. Also did not know, like, Ralph literally was tweeting about Drew's mom, because Drew's mom was saying she notices a change in the children, and he was like, your mom better watch her mouth because I'm the one that had to bury her out of the hole after she spent all of your dead dad's money. Being super disgusting. Yeah, being super disgusting. Just disgusting. But in terms of, like, when the men come out, so, like, basically, I lost my place in my notes. Because there was something I wanted to bring up. There's something I wanted to bring up, and then I'm going to circle back around. Because I want to talk about the men specifically right now, and then I want to talk about like two things before that's that. Because honestly, yeah. So the men come out. Charles got the girl shaking. I didn't know Shamia was claiming to know Charles too. Phaedra was claiming to know him and not knowing he had a wife, and Phaedra was stuttering like a lot, like you're a liar stuttering. She had nothing to really back it up with. She was like, I've been in several rooms with you, Charles. That don't mean nothing. Like he said, that we could have been in the same bathroom. That don't mean you know me. I think that's really weird how she was like, her whole thing is this rooms thing. She's like, well, Angela, you want to be in the rooms that I want to be in, or the rooms that I'm in. And then Angela's like, but the rooms I'm in, you're not in. This whole room thing is weird. Either way, this whole time Phaedra's been like, oh, I know Charles, all this stuff. We've been in the same rooms together. He's claiming he do not know that lady, just like he claiming he don't know Shamia, which is funny because he actually has a picture of Gerald. So it's like he actually may know Shamia, but he may just meet a lot of people, because Shamia does actually host like the basketball events and stuff in Atlanta, like for the Atlanta Hawks. Like she's the hoster, like, you know, when you go to a game and it's like the person doing the games and stuff. So she probably did meet him, but he does not remember her. So I give that to Shamia. And then I am going to give it to Phaedra, because Phaedra knew him when him and Sheree were dating. So I do think Charles probably knows Phaedra, has been in the same rooms with Phaedra while he was dating Sheree, because we didn't realize, but him and Sheree were dating for a couple years. This wasn't like a month or two. They were dating for a couple of years. Phaedra and Sheree were cool at one point. This is when it was the bigs versus the smalls. It was, Sheree was cool with them. So I'm wondering if it was around that time, because I could totally see Phaedra being like, well, yeah, I knew you when you were dating Sheree. But Charles acting like he don't remember that. Charles also talks about how, like, the perception that he doesn't love his wife. He says he does love his wife. He wouldn't be on camera though doing a lot of this stuff that she's asking if he didn't love his wife. And he's like, I show up for my wife, whereas y'all husbands. And I think that's a valid point, because it's like nobody's married. And then the only other person that is married, Shamia, Gerald didn't even come. And I just feel like that is the most lame thing he could do for Shamia. Clearly it's not a good season for her. She's up in arms in this situation. She's not really winning the public's vote at this point. You guys seen social media. We kind of think Shamia's a joke. You know, she's beefing with Portia. I think it would have shown their dynamic a little better and how supportive he is if he just showed up. But she said he sent yellow flowers, and I'm just like, it's falling flat for me. And I'm like, and that's why you haven't been a housewife, because it's like, this man can't even show up for you. And it's unfortunate, because it's like, but this man is requesting you have a son. That's the real tea. This man wants you to have a son. But I'm like, Gerald's not there, so they had to extend the invite to Ralph. Ralph is being corny per usual. But let's get into this whole, did Dennis and Drew sleep together? Are they trying to sleep together? Was there an exchange? So Dennis is caught up in a lie, because he showed Portia some text messages. Portia showed those same text messages to Ralph, and they both confirmed that the messages said, I'm not trying to worry about that ex stuff, but I'm not gonna F or something. It was very weird, like the text message, it was very weird. But Ralph was like, yeah, I saw it. I think it said that verbatim. And then Dennis was like, it didn't say that, or like, I don't even remember what it said. Basically playing in Portia's face about lying on Drew trying to exchange studio time for having sexual relations with him. He looked like an idiot to me, because I'm like, what I don't like is a messy man. Like I'm seeing Kendall on Beyond the Villa. I don't like messy men. Like, can y'all please stop? I just think that's so low vibrations when a man is messy, and it just gives me the ick. So I'm like, if there's any reason for you and Portia to ever reconcile Portia, I would remember this incident. This is a messy man. You don't want to be involved with a messy man. That is just disgusting and dramatic. Like, for what? I'm supposed to be the dramatic one. But Dennis is caught up in a lie. Dennis clearly loves Portia, because the question is asked, like, do you ever see you guys getting back together? And he's like, it depends who she's with. Like, there's still a lot of love there. And then we talk about this woman that apparently was in the house. Ralph lies through his teeth, his veneers, saying he never had no woman in the house just because she's on, the listserv of being at the house doesn't mean she was there. And then they were like, so was she not at the house? And this is the woman that apparently was at Anaya's school, Drew's daughter, and eyeing Drew up and down. Or I don't know if I got that. That was a weird situation. So Drew is saying there was a woman in the basement, or there's been a girl to the house, and when she went to Anaya's school, the girl was there. I don't know if the girl was trying to pick up her daughter. Like, it was a weird situation how she explained it. I was very confused. But basically, Ralph is like, no, I'm not, she never came in the house. She just stopped outside and we were doing our fitness stuff. Like, we're doing a fitness program. Now, do I believe Ralph? No, that woman was in that basement, all up in that basement. What Portia say, flip-flopping up in that bedroom. Like, I can't. He's such a liar. And I didn't like how the ladies then are, like, praising Ralph for actually being present, because Kelly pushes him on, like, well, I want to know what information my ex was telling you, Ralph. And Ralph was like, oh, about that. Like, just lying again. I don't even think the man came up to him. I don't even think he knows the man. He was like, oh, I was just hoping the situations could be similar, like you and Drew, because, like, him and Drew have worked something out. And that's another thing Ralph mentions is, like, out of this camera stuff, Drew don't have this energy for him. She's actually very sweet to him, and he said it can be very mixed signals at time. He was like, the viral video of him, like, feeding her a piece of steak, that's how they always interact. But he says whenever the cameras come on, she act different. And I think that's true. And I think he also acts different. I think y'all both perform for the cameras. But he was like, he would just like to get back to that. And then Kelly's like, well, what did my ex say? Ralph didn't have an answer. And then Kelly's like, okay. She said, I will give it to you, Ralph, how, like, you're active in your kid's life. Why are we rewarding the basics? He laid down to have them children. He should be involved in their lives. We're not about to start rewarding Ralph's loser behavior just because your baby daddy is currently in court, doing all this crazy stuff to you, which I do not condone at all. But I'm just like, Kelly, what made you, out of them fresh plumped lips, want to utter, Ralph, you're doing a good job, knowing what Drew's going through? I just felt like you shouldn't have said anything. Like, it was just like, okay, that's what I thought. You didn't need to give him a compliment. For what? Like, what are we complimenting this loser about? Circling back, Drew's dating life. Drew has confirmed her and Ty probably were on the phone 3,000 minutes a month. Hey, Ty Young. I like Ty Young. I really enjoy her on Basketball Wives. I do hope her and Ming Lee come back. So she has confirmed that, but she said when you do the math, it's not that much. It's like 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day for 30 days on the phone with someone is kind of big, in my opinion. Like, every single day y'all talking? No. But then, is she dating Black? I still don't know who Black is. Is this a producer guy? I don't know who Black is, but she is promoting his hookah stuff. She's passing it around to the folks. So it's giving their dating. But she says that's her friend. So I don't think her and Ty, I think her and Ty are they're not together or whatever. And then the men leave, and that's really the episode. I just really wanted to touch on that. Like, I think the reunion was good. It was solid. This wasn't the best reunion. I think we were missing some key players. We were missing Kenya Moore. We were missing Britt Edie. Heck, we were missing freaking Candy Burris at this point to set some stuff straight, because the way everyone was lying is just beyond me. I do think the fact that they gave Kenya Moore the boot and then Britt Edie failed to show up was very unfortunate, because it was just kind of like, you did all of that for what? So unfortunately the reunion did fall flat. I'm looking forward though to season 17. I do hope we can see Kenya Moore back on our screens, even though I am not a Kenya Moore stan. I would like to see her back on our screens, because I just think there's so much more of the story to be told, and I think it's unfair that we never got to sit down between her and Britt Edie. I would have liked to see Britt Edie come back, because it's just unfortunate she opted out so late. Because it's like, you could have just went to the reunion and everything would have been fine. Like, you should have went to the reunion. You would have made it out fine. Shamia made it out okay. She made it out apologizing to folks. Apologizing left and right. Shamia's like, I need to stay out of people's business. And Drew's like, you are right. They closed out doing Where Them Fans At. Andy is trying to twerk. It was just a fun closeout, and I think it said a lot that Portia was the one that closed the group out. I think it kind of solidified her future on the show. She's like, let me get my fans out, and then her and Shamia were able to lead that dance. I hope they're willing to get past it. If anything, I'm hearing everyone was asked back, and I do think they should. And it'll be more interesting to see season 18. But I would like to see Nene Leakes eventually appear as a friend of RHOA. I would like to see Kenya come back. And it is unfortunate that Britt Edie never was able to come back because she is just a loser and she couldn't really stand in the fire. And like I said, you would have been fine. You would have been fine because the audience was actually liking you those last couple episodes. We were actually on your side with a lot of stuff. I know I was. But it is unfortunate that she just couldn't stand the heat. And she left, and now it's like you're just back to being an insurance fraud agent. And it's unfortunate. That's your story, though. I don't think we'll ever see her on reality TV again, but that was your episode of Toxic, but it's Tuesday. That was your final Real Housewives of Atlanta recap for the season. And I don't know what I'm going to recap on my Toxic but Tuesdays. It'll probably just be mostly topics or whatever I'm watching, but it'll be mostly reality topics because nothing comes on Sundays anymore. I am watching King's Court. That's been pretty cool. But I'm not going to recap it. But yeah, that was your Toxic, but it's Tuesday. Until the next time.